People who gave in to their intrusive thought. What's your story? Before we start, comment at what time you're watching this video right now. Alright, on to the stories. 1. My parents had a blender I used every day to make a smoothie, and it always slowed down with ice. I was annoyed that it wasn't strong enough to just smash it. I thought, I bet I could stop it with my finger if I pushed down on the middle bit. Typing this out 30 years later still feels stupid. I didn't lose any fingers, but the end of one of them is all scar tissue, and I can't feel anything in the ends of 2 fingers. So in one way, I'm like a superhero. In another, much more accurate way, I'm an idiot. Comment, did you stop the blender? Reply, not even close. 2. I poured water into an underground hornet's nest when I was doing groundskeeping at a church and got everyone attacked except me. 3. Snorted packet chicken noodle seasoning in high school once. Lost the use of a nostril for a week. Everything smelled like chicken soup too. 4. I sprayed perfume in my mouth when I was around 6 or 7. It burned like hell and I was gasping for air. I watched too much Looney Tunes and thought breath spray was perfume. SMH. 5. I lit my toenail on fire. It hurt. A lot. 6. I had a friend bent over in front of me with their fishing rod in hand by a river. And of course that booty made my foot want to kick it, so I gave it a soft kick. The poor dude went straight into the river without expecting it, and I laughed so hard. I paid for it though. I was never invited to go fishing with the boys again. LOL. 7. I threw a giant party balloon filled with water off a balcony on the 14th floor. It landed on a car, smashed the windshield to pieces, and completely dented the roof. I still think about how lucky I am that it didn't hit a person. 8. I was sitting on our brand new sofa messing around with a pair of my mom's curved nail scissors. Cut a 1-inch hole in the fabric of the sofa back, right in the front. Thought, moved over to the chair from the same brand new suite with the same fabric. Cut the same sized hole in the same place. Thought, About 2 minutes later, I snapped out of whatever weird dissociative state I was in, realized what I had done, and went to hide. 9. Punched a pigeon. Didn't expect to connect at all, and I was disgusted that I actually touched one. It felt more like watching it happen, instead of choosing to do it. It fluttered into the ocean and got out. I got shat on 4 or 5 times that summer. 10. I was baking and had flour measured out in a wide, shallow bowl. I don't know what happened or why, but the monkey in the back of my brain said, "Slam your open palm right in the middle of the pile." And I did. Took forever to clean it all up. If you're still watching, means you're enjoying the stories. Subscribe so you can look forward to more stories like these. Now on to 11. I had a feeling my girlfriend was doing something shady. Checked her phone. Found proof almost instantly. Broke up the next day. Still somehow feel guilty for going through her stuff. 12. I set my dad's newspaper on fire while he was reading it. I was around 5, so this was nearly 80 years ago, and a 40-page broadsheet back then was basically a huge pile of fuel. ETA. I didn't get hit or whipped. I was never physically punished, which feels pretty surprising now. My mom just gave me a serious lecture, the kind that's more disappointed than angry. Guess it worked, because it toned down, but didn't fully stop. My little kid pyromaniac streak. 13. When I was 13, I had a small crush on a cartoon character. One day I thought it would be funny to Google Segsy, character name. That ended up being my whole sexual awakening, my first time seeing corn, and the moment I found out about fetishes. I haven't been the same since. 14. I stuck my foot out in front of the girl I liked during English class. She tripped over it, and she hated me forever. Thanks, brain. 15. I tossed a bottle out of the car window without thinking and then pulled over to clean it up because I felt guilty. 16. I stapled my finger with a staple gun. I really just wanted to know how it felt. Comment. I did this too, on the nail of my left forefinger. I bled. Then I did it in front of my bully and asked him if he was as tough as me. He never got the guts to try it, and the bullying stopped. Whenever he came near me after that, I gave him the death stare and took control. For the rest of the year, I basically bullied him with just my stare. Watching him get scared was honestly amazing. 17. Not my intrusive thought, but when I was a kid, my friend and I were sitting in a sauna, and he asked, "What would happen if I piss on the hot rocks?" Turns out it makes the whole building smell like burnt piss and gets you permanently banned from the pool. 18. I threw a slice of American cheese onto the roof of my parents' garage in the middle of summer. It stayed up there for weeks. Turns out, craft singles can seriously damage asphalt shingles. 19. I jumped off a moving bus and scraped my knees badly. 20. I drank a mix of fruit juice, instant noodle seasoning, hot water, and maybe soy sauce. That made me vomit like crazy that night. For years afterward, I couldn't smell chicken-flavored noodles without gagging. 21. I didn't pull out. Now I have a kid. 22. I spent 10 years traveling the world not giving a fudge. I literally left for a 10-day vacation and just never returned. 23. After my husband cheated, I grilled some of his football memorabilia. The grill was fine. Took his phone from his pocket and texted his girlfriend pretending to be him. Told her to quit her job. She actually did. 24. I swung at my sergeant. Sadly, I missed. 25. I was alone for a minute in a friend's house and licked one of those pink salt lamps. It tasted exactly how I expected, and now I know I can't buy one because I definitely keep licking it. 26. I pressed my finger onto the hot car cigarette lighter. Got burned really bad for that. 27. I went into my roommate's underwear drawer and sniffed her panties. They were clean, but that's when I realized I needed to move out. It was weird because I suddenly started wanting to fudge my roommate. Would have been fine if I wasn't already in a relationship. 28. I stole a cop car when they were chasing some kids, used it to rob a gas station, and barely got back onto the freeway before the cops were on me. I ended up in a high-speed chase for about 20 miles before I decided to jump off a 3-level bridge. Fell around 50 to 60 feet. That was 15 years ago, and I've had 6 surgeries for my back since. I have another neuroortho appointment tomorrow. All my cervical vertebrae are fused. Every single one. And tomorrow I find out about my lumbar. Do not take a stupid amount of acid from a stripper. It did not end well. 29. I ran over a construction cone once. It exploded into tiny pieces and blew away like sand. 30. I punched my dad's rising dough. I did not get to eat homemade calzone. 31. I pissed in a coffee mug and microwaved it for 3 minutes, then ran it under cold water which made the mug break and blast boiling piss everywhere. I was tweaking off Adderall and was 12 years old. I still have no clue why I did any of it. Edit. Just to clear things up, tweaking off Adderall was an exaggeration for comedy. I took a higher dose than normal as a kid. I think the drug just did not work well with me and always made me do insane shiz. This is not even the wildest thing I ever did on Adderall. But no, my parents were not giving me some massive heroic dose every day. 32. I had a shiz day in my second year of uni. I am kind of a loner, so I did not have any friends to call and hang out with. So I randomly booked a train ticket to London at around 8 p.m., got there around 11:30 at night, and I did not plan any of it. I did not book a hotel or anything, so I just walked around all night, seeing places that were on my bucket list. I got breakfast at around 8 a.m. because I was up the whole night, wandering around with my headphones on. I ended up going to the National Museum, too. I visited Chinatown, ate some food, did some shopping, and by 5 p.m. I was on a train back to my student place, which was a 4-hour trip. I would not change a single thing. It was such a good day. 33. I licked the back wall of an empty fridge, got my tongue stuck, freaked out, and yanked my head back, which ripped off the tip of my tongue. It was bleeding like crazy. My grandfather gave me a cup of warm salt water to soak it in. It hurt so bad. 34. I ate a bar of soap. It was one of those see-through soaps with colorful swirls. Every time I showered, I thought it looked like candy. One day I gave in and took a huge bite and chewed on it. Then I snapped out of it and spat most out, but still swallowed chunks. 35. I put a couple Jaffa cakes in an electric kettle and boiled them. 36. I never do well at holidays with my wife's extended family. I walk in and get insulted, barely get any food, and leave pissed off. One year I started drinking and stopped holding back. My wife's aunt joked about me driving the same old car. I asked if her husband was still banging his same old ex-girlfriend. That set the tone for the whole day. My wife's cousin started talking about religion and politics. I asked him how his job search was going since he was still being supported by his mom in his 30s. Then another cousin made a comment about my daughter being too big for her age, and I called him a pedophile and told him to keep his hands off the kids. People started leaving at that point. I was honestly heartbroken, because I was just getting started. My wife did not talk to me for the rest of the weekend, but at least we will not be going to many more family holidays. 37. When I was young, I filled the cleaner's orange window cleaner bottle with Fanta. The cleaners walked around my uncle's house spraying Fanta on all the windows thinking it was cleaner. Everyone thought it was funny, even if they were annoyed. 38. I cut my waist-length hair into a pixie cut. It took 3 years to grow back. LOL. 39. I threw a full slushie through the driver's window of an oncoming car. They chased me for about 10 minutes and then filed a police report. The cops made me pay to get the car cleaned. The person actually worked at a car detailing place, so I got the employee price. The back window looked like Marvin's head in Pulp Fiction. She followed me around, honking through the college campus. I was scared as shiz. The cops called my parents because the car was still registered to them. My parents are strict, but this was the only time they thought something was funny. Mostly because the cops said the word slushy. I told the police I was in a prank war with another kid who drove the same white Mercury Cougar. They gave me the lady's number and said if I made it right, she could choose not to press charges. She believed the story. I had to pay about $90, which was a lot for me in college, but honestly it could have gone way worse. This was in 2001. 40. I broke up with someone because I felt like I did not deserve her and thought I would eventually hurt her anyway. Turns out breaking up was the thing that hurt her. I regret it every day and wish I could go back and stop myself from ruining things and dragging someone else into it. 41. Not me, but my marine biology teacher in high school once licked my hand. I still do not know why. He was a weird kind of guy, so it was not completely shocking, but after he did it, he looked embarrassed, like he suddenly realized what he had done. 42. I lit a firecracker on my desk in the middle of grade 8 while the teacher was giving a math lesson. I do not know what outcome I expected. He was pissed and yelled at me. Luckily, it was 1995 before everything got crazy. If it happened now, I would probably end up on some list. 43. I saw an exposed plug on the floor in a hardware store when I was a kid, so I picked it up, plugged it into the nearest outlet, and then touched it. I got shocked and pulled my finger back because of the burning pain, which lasted about a minute. It felt like dipping your finger in boiling oil and then putting it near a candle flame. It was sore for weeks and super sensitive. Even bandages hurt. Ouch. 44. I was holding a baby that kept pulling my hair. I moved her hand onto her own head and she started pulling her own hair. Immediate crying. I felt bad but also laughed, and then I was stuck with a crying baby. 3 out of 10 would not recommend it. 45. After frying some eggs, I jerked into the pan to see what sperm looked like cooked. It mostly just sizzled. Then, I hand-washed the pan for 10 minutes because it is my favorite egg pan. 46. My father, who is 55, has braces and knows he will have to wear a retainer every night for the rest of his life. When he said that, I just told him, "You do not have much left." 47. I waterboarded myself. I was showering, picked up my washcloth, wondered how bad it really was, soaked it, put it on my face, then stood under the water for half a second. Turns out there is a reason it is used for torture, haha. 48. I tried walking across a frozen lake in the middle of the night. I fell through but caught myself before going all the way in. I had to walk a mile home in frozen pants. Thank God I had long underwear on. 49. I slammed a heavy door on my brother's finger. He was about 15 and I was about 12. I never heard him scream or cry like that. I felt like shiz, and even decades later I still cringe thinking about it. 50. I kicked a big mushroom. It made a satisfying splat, but then my shoe was disgusting. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe so I can keep bringing you more of these stories. Thanks for sticking around till the end. See you next time, and take care.